In the upcoming interview, I talked to Paul Webb, who's CEO of Synectics. It's a great little company. It's at the top end of the microcap league, and we cover the interim results, which, to be honest, knocked the ball out of the park. They have growth, top line 20%. More importantly, operating profit growth of 183% and free cash flow growth of 138%. Plus, on a value basis, it's also very good, scoring top marks. It's a PE of 12, it's on an EV/EBITDA of 5, and it's valued below its net assets. Momentum is there, it's healthy, it increases cash from 4 million to 6.4 million, plus it's efficient and has decent upside potential. Also, Paul himself, the CEO, has skin in the game, holding 3.5% of the company's shares. It's worth a watch, it's worth doing some research on. Enjoy. And joining me on the podcast and a video, it's Paul Webb, Chief Executive Officer of Synectics. That's SNX ticker. Paul, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Justin. Nice to meet you this morning, and thanks for your interest in the company.
Yeah, well, fantastic set of interim results out. This is the 31st of May 2024, and we'll get into that in a bit. Before we do, Paul, people not familiar with Synectics, can you just give them a brief overview of what the company does, please?
Okay, well, thanks. Well, Synectics is a leader in security and surveillance systems. It's a big market, security industry, surveillance industry, but we're really focused on specialist, specific core markets where security is either critical or fundamental to operations, often regulated environments where our experience is highly valued and highly valuable, our experience and expertise there. And we often help customers ensure compliance with regulations as well. We deliver solutions that are technically and logistically challenging often to a really high profile and almost blue chip customer base globally. Largely, our solutions are built on our own intellectual property, essentially either our Synergy software platform, command and control software for surveillance and security needs, or our COEX range of explosion protected cameras, which are very specialized cameras for the oil and gas market. We build long-term relationships with our end users and channel partners. That's really, really important to us. And we see ourselves as a very human business. You can look at us as a techie business, but ultimately we and our customers know that what we're doing is protecting people. So it's a very human element to our business. We're a trusted brand in the sectors that we operate in. We're very focused on understanding and serving our customers well. And that's really important. Focus on specialist core markets where we can have a leading position and really demonstrate our expertise and experience in those areas.
Yeah. Like I said, you just released your interim results for the 6 months ended the 31st of May. If you could, Paul, take us through some highlights of those, because it's a great set of figures there.
Yeah, we're really pleased with the first half results. Slightly stronger first half than we were expecting. We're really down to just a couple of projects being delivered a bit earlier than we'd anticipated, that our customers wanted completion a bit earlier. So revenue growth is pretty good, about 20% revenue growth over the prior year, but you can see the operational gearing coming through with the substantial increases in operating profits. So we're really pleased with that. And we were fairly confident we could deliver a strong H1 when we did a trading update back in April. We've been very focused since then on continuing to drive the order book, and that closed very strongly. So we're delighted to close the period with an order book at 30.2 million, ahead of the start of the year, even with strong numbers. It's good that it means we'll have a much more evenly weighted revenue across the full year this year. And we've typically over many years been very H2 weighted, just the seasonality of the markets. But really pleased, strong first half. So it's quiet through the summer, and we'll have a good fourth quarter. So we're very confident we're going to deliver, comfortably meet market expectations for the full year and beyond.
Yeah. Now, I assume security is a priority, for many businesses or places, or even for governments as well. So I assume there's quite a few companies out there in a similar kind of field, but you seem to be doing very well. So what sort of differentiates, your product and services from other companies or your peer groups?
So as I tried to say at the outset, we're really focused on a couple of or a handful of core specialist markets where we have deep expertise, deep understanding, and we can anticipate our customers' needs and developing product suites and solutions that they're precisely adapted to the emerging and evolving needs of those customers. So tends to be the sectors we work in is where security is either critical or fundamental, often regulated in those markets, and that's where we focus on, is helping those customers achieve compliance, anticipating their needs. So we have specialist products for oil and gas. We work in casino markets globally, and we've got features and functionality that are far from generic, that are really aimed at making life for those customers easy. So, I mean, I suppose we could get more revenue growth by chasing a broader security market. There's a massive industry out there, and it's always difficult for me that people look at security industry figures and saying how huge it is around the world. But, you know, we're very conscious of defining our own target markets, where those specialist sectors, and we're seen as trusted brand and leading providers in those more niche sectors. So that's our focus, and that's been important. It's allowed us to deliver long-term relationships with both end users and channel partners. And you know, we recently announced a major win for an upgrade and expansion for a customer in Southeast Asia that's been a customer for 10 years, and it's a perfect opportunity for them to switch to a different provider or brand or product now, as they're doing a major control room refit. But they absolutely are sticking with us and investing in us for another 10 years of life. So it's a big investment from them, and a great vote of confidence in our platform is still as relevant and market leading as it was 10 years ago. So the continued investment in R&D. I'd say we don't just invent cool shit. We don't really do R&D. The techies always like to invent something cool and hope we can sell it. We don't do that. We deeply understand our customers' emerging needs, and we develop solutions for those evolving needs. And that's, I suppose, really the secret to our sustainability going forward.
Yeah, yeah. So you mentioned oil and gas, gaming, for two big sectors. Any other sectors you're particularly excited about or you see traction in?
Well, our heritage is public space in the UK, town centre, city centre surveillance. That's been more challenging for quite a while. There's no secret that budgets in that area, local authority budgets, are constrained. So we've been looking at adjacent markets like healthcare and utilities. Done a lot of work in the UK utilities sector over the last few years, both our integration business, but you know, our Synergy software platform's been adopted by National Grid and some other major utilities in the UK, so that's quite good. And we've also got a fairly established footprint in transportation as well. You know, a lot of on vehicle stuff in the UK and bus fleets, and we provide the surveillance platform for the whole of the Berlin transport network. So the Berlin Underground and the Overground Railway is all provided by Synectics.
Wow. And explain the company, because it's different parts of the business, like you say. There's your IP, the cameras, but there's also Synergy, which is a software platform, isn't there?
Yes, I mean, the business got two operating divisions with slightly different business models. So Synectics Security is an integrator. It's a UK centric, was pretty much only operates in the UK, and it's like a resale and service model, supplying security systems to end users in the UK. And, you know, modest margins. It does really well against its peer companies in terms of high gross margins in that market. But Synectics Systems is the core of the business. It's our technology-based business. That's sort of two product lines, really, or two product groups. Synergy software platform, which is sold into most of our markets and projects, developed at our own technology centre in Sheffield in the UK. And for the oil and gas market, we've got an explosion protected camera station line, which are very specialised camera stations for use in explosive atmospheres. You know, you're thinking of a camera now is a few $100s, and these are maybe $10,000. Very specialised, very high barriers to entry. So they're our principal business lines. Synergy software platform sold across most of the markets. Very specialised oil and gas camera products, and nearly a third of our business is a UK integration business delivering directly to end users in the UK. But the high margin and the high growth potential is within the technology business. As I say, it's very focused on specialised markets, which, you know, has been challenging. They've been cyclic markets. Oil and gas is cyclic. Gaming has gone through difficult times. That essentially the whole sector was closed down for almost 2 years during COVID. Recovering now, has recovered in terms of generating revenues, but their appetite for capital investment, they're sort of refilling their coffers first But we've seen signs this year that so some significant re-emergence of activity and projects in that sector. Last year's results were very much based on a buoyant oil and gas market. Which ironically, the business's early growth in sort of 2010 to 13 was fueled by the oil and gas market. Then that sort of fell off a cliff in 2014 with the Arab Spring and a crash in the oil price, and the business was able to continue from its long-standing relationships just on upgrades and add-ons, but that's buoyant at the moment as well, and will be for the next few years. So we're seeing a number of sectors now actually in strong momentum mode. Last year we were saying oil and gas is strong, other sectors are in recovery. I'd say now that to all intents and purposes largely recovered, and strong opportunities in all sectors. And maybe demand in the UK public space is not going to be particularly strong for a while, but who knows? There's been some decisions delayed on waiting to see whether we're going to have a change of government or not. So maybe some changes there, and the same in the transport sector. So seeing lots of decisions there, waiting for political decisions on investment funding support. So we'll see those markets closely. I mean, there's quite a lot of macro drivers into all these markets, and the idea of having 3 or 4 legs of the business is that they're not all going down at one point in time. We never quite had them all going up at the same point in time. But, apart from the COVID years, where ironically the sort of the more difficult market, like the sort of core security market, that stayed quite good because people were just worried of protecting assets when there was no one around. But the investments in new projects, whether it be new offshore projects or new casino developments, that just stopped for a couple of years. But last year I was talking about recovery markets. Now I'm talking about growing markets, and the key for us is specialism. Is we really understand the markets we're in. We tailor our solutions to those. We never win on price. We're never the cheapest. We have the best value offering because we really understand what you need, and you can rely on us to deliver what you need in the future.
Yeah, well, they say, buy cheap, buy twice. It's always better going for the best option, isn't it? Yeah. So,
the number of repeat customers that have bought 3 systems for us over the last 15, 20 years is that astounding. We generate a huge amount of advocacy and customer loyalty, and that's really important to us.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of cyclicality, a lot of recovery, and so what's the potential here? Because I've read your reports. You see, you're focusing a lot on recurring revenue. Where does that come from? Recurring revenue?
At the moment, recurring revenue mostly comes from service book, and we have some software support contracts with almost all of our Synergy software deployments have a support contract to generate revenue. Probably about 15% of our business overall is that recurring revenue from that. But we generate a huge amount of repeat revenue, which is essentially recurring, but not contracted, so not accounting technically recurring. And that's about another 20%. So it's about a third of our revenue overall is recurring or repeat. It's essentially recurring from our income position, but only half is contractual. We can rely on that, and that's the stuff we had going through all the time through COVID, etc. I mean, that there was no let up in that. We are working towards most of our projects are capital projects. People fund them as capital investments. So we've been working towards offering the software on a subscription basis, and we absolutely will have that as a principal offering soon. There's not much demand in our markets for it at the moment, although we have it available, and we think, well, we know that's the direction of travel. So we think more and more people will buy the software from us on a subscription or SaaS type model. So that should increase, but it's not going to be we're not a software only business. We sell systems, we sell solutions, we sell a lot of IT hardware on the back of our software, which is almost like it's a special sauce. Our software is a special sauce that lets us sell lots of fries.
Yeah, absolutely. So and of course, your Synergy is agnostic as far as hardware is concerned, isn't it?
It is. We mostly supply it on. We supply a turnkey system mostly, but I mean it is agnostic, and it's not like reliant on our brand of cameras or anything. We support over 80 brands of cameras and other hardware. Most of the time, people want a turnkey solution from us, so they know it's going to be reliable. We can guarantee performance. We're guaranteeing not even a single frame is lost if it's on our hardware platform. So it is agnostic. It's agnostic also in terms of integration to other systems. So we talk with analytics and AI and perimeter detection systems and facial recognition and alarm systems, door entry systems, and we're not aligned to one brand. Some people ask us sometimes, why don't you add these to your portfolio? Well, the point is really we want to be the trusted single pane of glass control system for the customer, and we'll support what they need. We're trying to understand what they need and support the right solutions for their market. So
yeah. And how, I mean, we'll talk about the big contract you just landed there from an existing customer, but generally, how do you acquire customers then?
Well, so a lot of it is through reference from long-standing advocates, because we've been in the industry for a long time. We're very focused on specific markets, so we know those markets, we know what's going on, we know what projects are coming up, and that's where our own activity is. But that said, a lot of it is through channel partners. So the bulk of our business is delivered through local service partners around the world, and increasingly we're developing those to be business development or sales partners. So it's very important to us that the channel partner network around the world. We grew the business initially by developing a network of channel partners, long-standing relationships and advocates. We focus on specific markets and we know the projects coming up. Touching all influencers, we want people to want our system rather than going, the procurement team say it's cheapest, so we're buying that. So that's a lot of focus. And we've re-emphasized that this year after holding back a bit in the sort of pandemic and post-pandemic years. We re-galvanized the team and we hired some more BD resource. So, and they're not out there selling the traditional sales technique, oh, could go and buy something from me. We're out there just spreading the word and developing advocacy, making sure that various stakeholders, whether it be end users, consultants, IT partners, they all know what we can offer, know what we can do, know what our references are. So we don't tend to sell on the product function and capability, if you like. We tend to sell on referenceability to existing customers or existing capabilities that that people can rave about, and also getting people to understand then that they're not buying something that's now for now, that they're buying into something that will develop and evolve. Hence, we essentially have all customers on a software support agreement, because that software platform will evolve continuously. But half of our R&D spend is, you call it maintenance, but it's not maintenance as in fixing problems. It's maintenance as in keeping the product constantly up to date and relevant to market needs and demands. So we add features specific for markets as well. So we got some cool things that stand out as not generally available, and we try and excite customers with what we can do and that we'll be with them for a long time, rather than trying to tick the box that everyone else can tick and offer them a lower price.
Yeah. Well, talking about sort of, cutting edge tech and keeping up with the times there. I was on your website looking through your blogs there, and you mentioned the blog that AI for public security and safety market is expected to hit 71 billion. So can you explain how you use AI in your business at the moment?
So it's important to know that we don't develop any AI algorithms ourselves. We don't develop any AI technologies ourselves, but we've long offered integrations into analytic platforms, other systems, and getting data from other systems to inform security decisions or to speed up processing of data. And we've been doing that for years, but not using AI, using other techniques. We pioneered a concept we called data valence over 10 years ago now, taking various streams of data source and using that to inform decision making and to look back over events and what's happened. So we've been integrated into various video analytics AI things for years. And if you come to for a demo 3 years ago, we'd have shown you one brand of product, third-party brand, working within our system seamlessly. We'll probably show you a different one now. So we're agnostic to that. We can operate with whatever the current flavor of the month is in terms of AI, because it changes all the damn time. With that said, we are. I think that's a real advantage for customers, because we're not hooked onto. We've got our one stream of business that we've developed, and that's what you're stuck with for the next 10 years or whatever. You can change. You can use two different AI products at the same time, or more than two at the same time on our platform. You can change them after a year or two if they're not working for you or something better comes out. That said, we've long had forensic video searching capability inside our system, so you can use in pre-AI techniques, search quickly through video evidence to find matters of importance, and the incident management is a really strong part of our platform. We will embed a native AI engine into Synergy, so that'll enhance those features. That will be in the next major release. But again, we're not developing that algorithm ourselves. We're using a third-party technology provider to evolve the algorithm to meet our needs, but it'll be an embedded part of the product going forward rather than an integration into third-party. But you can use the same side by side. It's there's another module that you can add to the platform.
Yeah, interesting. You recently mentioned, we talked about this, touched on it, a $10 million contract, upgrade and expand the surveillance systems at a major gaming resort in Southeast Asia. A current customer, which, like I said, is a major endorsement of your products and services. And are there, other opportunities? I'm not saying of this size, but are there, other opportunities within current customers to upgrade like this?
Well, there's lots of customers. It's a big part of our business that we retain customers a long time. I can think of a smaller casino in North America, which is our first ever casino we did, and they bought 3 systems from us over the generations. I mean, this resort in Southeast Asia is unique, and it's the biggest one in the world. And the reason for the scale of the upgrade is there's a major expansion happening there as well. So they're expanding significantly their gaming floor over the next couple of years. So the scale is unusual, but the opportunity to do multi-million-pound next generation refits for existing customers is part of our business. It's probably a third of our business is replacing people's systems because they've been really happy with them for the last 7 years. I always think it's a 7-year. It ought to be a 7-year replacement cycle because it's computer-based systems at the end of the day. That's about the right time. A lot of our customers have incremental upgrades all the time, but the fundamental hardware platform probably needs replacing about every 7 years. And in casino-type markets, it's probably every 6 or 7 years they replace them. And in public sector markets, they probably try and eke them out for 10 years or something. But it is a big part of our business. Really upgrading customers, and I think this one is unusual in the scale. It is the largest one in the world. We've been incumbent there since 2014, and it's a perfect opportunity now where they're doing a major upgrade. They're moving to a new control room. They're doing a complete switch from one system to other. They could easily go out, tender, or get another product, another supplier. If they're going to do it any time, now is the best time to do it. But they've fully committed to us for long term in the future with a significant expansion, and that's a really great testimony to the fact that 10 years on, selling the same product, but our capabilities and the features of our product set are still market leading. They still see them as being the best in the market 10 years on because they changed completely over that time. And tellingly, the service support and the relationship with the customer is second to none. So I think we've got some quotes from the customer which are very positive. So we're really, really pleased with that. And looking forward to more similar things, but probably not quite at the same scale.
Yeah, no, but they say, it's a huge endorsement, one of the biggest, gaming companies in the world, and they are choosing you. And that's after 10 years of using you, pretty much, whatever. So
it's probably the most successful and high-profile gaming resort in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that must help you going forward. Like you say, get some quotes from the customer saying, this business has chosen us because we're being a customer, and they are going ahead with us and upgrading. That must help you a lot going forward, mustn't it?
We did really well from sort of 2014 through to the pandemic in Asian gaming, and we really got a market leading position there over that period on the wave of new build casinos, and a lot of that was built on the huge investment in time and capability we put into this first very large scale casino, and people are looking at that and going, well, we want that, that's the best. And it really helped us in that wave of new builds. But it's really great. You're saying, how do we acquire customers? A lot of it is through advocacy of long-term satisfied clients.
And just thinking about that cycle, you said for 7 years now, it's 2014, 15, maybe a few of those are looking around for upgrades. So there we are.
Yeah, and quite a few, there's been a bit of a delay in this sort of cycle. I've got the same even my own car at home. You know, it's I spent 2 years hardly driving it, so its
Yeah.
mileage is not so high. And I think it's the same with some of these systems, as maybe they were due or now overdue for replacement, or there's probably a lot coming up over the next couple of years, and maybe there's been some pent up demand during the lockdown year. So I think the next few years should be quite positive on a sort of replacement and upgrade cycle in a number of markets, to be honest.
Yeah. And so it's strong results today. So taking that into account, are you quite confident the results you've released today, you can continue this, is sustainable?
Yeah, very, very strong. You know, the full year results comfortably we should be able to meet now. It's we've got quite good visibility on projects and lead times. We've still got lots of work to do to win them and close them and deliver them, but feel very confident of this year's results. And that contract we just talked about is essentially a 2025 contract. We've got the contract now, but most of that will be delivered next year. So we have strong confidence for the medium term as well. But,
yeah, excellent, Paul. It's very good to chat to you, and congratulations on the results. And hopefully we'll catch up in the not too distant future. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks very much, and speak to you again soon.